While we wait for the weather to be suitable enough to make hay, I figured today would be a great time to address your guys' comments. Before we start, just know I love reading your guys' comments. I read them every single day. I love reading the questions, answering them, commenting. If I don't comment on your comment, I at least try to leave a heart to acknowledge that I see your comment. So please, feel free to comment more. And there's no such thing as a dumb question. So if you want to know something, just ask me. We'll start off with a good one here. James Hassel says, "You have to be the worst farmer I have ever seen." I responded, "How so?" Never got a reply back. Seems a little cowardly, wouldn't you say? The next comment comes from Zeke Barth. He is asking how I enjoy the Case disc bind here. He runs a Kuhn, but he's wanting my opinions on it. Well, this disc bind here is a Case 3309, which is actually the same as the New Idea 5209. And I believe there is a Massey Heston version of this disc bind as well. They're all essentially the same thing. There's a few key differences between some of the models, and that has to do with the cutter bar. Some of them are gear oil in the gearbox. This particular model, per service manual recommendations, you have to run a high temp grease in the gearboxes, not a gear oil. It totally messed with me, but that's what we got to run in it. This disc bind has been a pretty bulletproof disc bind for us. Basic simple maintenance to it every year. Change the gearbox grease, check the gearbox oil over on the PTO over there, sharpen the knives every year, keep it greased. Other than that, been a great disc bind. Ed Z. Muda asks, does anybody know what the actual price of hay should be with the fuel prices? That is such a 10-folded, 100,000-folded question because there are so many variables. Really comes down to your geological location. Are you in northeastern United States? Are you in southeastern United States? Are you in the Midwest? Are you in the western hay belt? That plays a huge factor in what hay prices should be. The other thing is, what are your management practices? Are you making like just random fescue grass hay and you're kind of just making whatever grows? Or are you treating it as a cash crop? Like, are you treating it for weeds? Are you fertilizing? Are you taking care of soil health and soil fertility? All those kind of factors go into play. The other thing is, what does it cost you aside from fuel? What does it cost you to make hay? Do you have equipment payments? Is everything paid off? But one thing is for certain, regardless of what your management styles are and all those other factors, price of fuel will drive up hay prices. Around here, southeastern PA, I can get off-road diesel, which is pink dye, red dye, whatever you want to call it, for $4.79 a gallon, which is $1 higher than last year and $2 higher than the year before. Because of that, my hay prices are going up. They're going to go up 25 to 50 cents a bale, depending on what the crop is. How many times did I ted it or rake it? All those little factors. The more that I run over those acres, the more that I run equipment around and do stuff like that, the more it's going to cost to produce that hay, and ultimately the higher the price is going to be. Jake Rose 4430 asks, what kind of applicator do we have on our baler and do we like it? This is an old-fashioned Gandy. This is an old applicator. This is nothing new. This is nothing fancy. It is a gravity-fed, meter-driven, down through tubes that come out 1, 2. My dad actually restored this applicator, found it in the Lancaster Farming, which is a local farm newspaper publication. And he tore it apart, painted it red, put some decals on it, got a motor for it, and we basically put all the hardware, drilled holes in it, drilled holes back here, put some tubes down, and there we go. We have an applicator. It's a very simple application system. It is metered by this dial back here. There's a slide in here, and there's diamond-shaped holes. I think there's 3 of them. And the further you open this slide, the more stuff feeds out. So I have it set at 40 right now, and with the Silo King that we use, which is the dry granular preservative that we use, 40 is about where I want it set when I'm baling first cutting or hay that I know has some moisture in it. For the price that we got it for and what we have into it, it's been a very good applicator. But if you're someone that's doing like 30, 40, 50,000 bales a year or more, and you're looking to invest in a newer baler and you want a good applicator, I would look into getting an actual blower. I think Silo King makes an actual blower that sits about right here, and it has like a little fan and a little corkscrew meter that blows it into the hay, and you get a much more even distribution of product within the hay, which in turn will help cure it down better and make the feed a better feed. This one does do good though for what we use it for. We do 5,000 to 10,000 bales a year, and we just got to make sure that, like when I was baling this hay, I needed to go slow enough to make sure that I was adequately applying it throughout the hay. Other than that, great applicator, and it looks good sitting there. And to wrap up the video, Mike Miller asks what state we make hay in. I make hay in Pennsylvania, specifically southeastern Pennsylvania. I'm about an hour west of Philly, although out here, we're close to the city, and please keep me out of the city. I don't really ever want to go to Philly, nor do I ever want to go to Lancaster, which isn't too far from me. Just not a city guy. Anyway, I farm in Pennsylvania and I love it. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoy this video and you want to see more of these kind of address and comment videos, let me know in the comments. See you next time.